trunk is full. We can't buy any more stuff because the trunk is already full, guys. Definitely one of the best NES scores I've had in a long time.
Der neue Almigurt nach Herzenslust von Ehrmann.
Hi, this is Marcel from NESCOMMANDO and you are watching edsretrogeekout.
So it's another Sunday, time to get up bright and early and leave for Apeldoorn. We're going to a convention called the Bonami Convention in Apeldoorn, which is in the Netherlands. It's a 3-hour drive, but I think it will be well worth it. We get there, we immediately park the car, and then we head towards the entrance. There's already 6 people waiting over there. And I'm thinking, oh, did we really rush over here for this? But yeah, 10 minutes later, there's like 100, maybe 200 people waiting in line to get in. I think we made the right decision by coming this early. And of course, they're all over here for one reason. Retrogamefreak is doing a dump sale. So Retrogamefreak is one of the biggest websites that sells retro games in Europe, and at some conventions they bring over some banana boxes filled with all of their overstock, their less desirable items they don't feel that are worth it to put on the website. And yeah, usually you can find pretty good deals over there. They have bargain bins for like €3 a piece, €1 a piece.
So many bargain boxes, and we were not invited. Shame on you, Ed.
It might get messy, there might be a lot of pushing and people trying to snatch away stuff. So I buckle up the GoPro and it's rush time. We go right over to the bargain bins and we start digging around. So Retrogamefreak brought over, I think, 75 banana boxes. One row is €3 a piece or 4 for €10. The other row is a line of boxes that you can get items for €1 a piece. And then there's a couple of tables that have some more expensive titles, some of the higher end titles, but they're also hella cheap. So now I'm over at the table where you actually have to ask for prices. There's also a banana box of NES games. I ask what are the prices on these. The guy says, oh, you have to ask the main guy, you have to ask the main seller. He puts the prices on those, so the prices aren't just like, oh, that's €5 a piece for these games. Now, there's a lot I'm still missing over here, so I just grab all of them I need, and yeah, I start digging through this banana box. So I start digging through this banana box and just grab everything I need. In there I find a Willow. Willow is a Capcom RPG based on the movie that came out in the 80s. Game I didn't have, but I was looking for, so I know I'm definitely going to take that one home. And here it is. I'm waiting with my stack of 11 NES games I still need. I'm hoping I can get a good deal on these. So the guy comes over. I hand him over the stack of NES games. He goes over them, and he's really friendly, actually. He's like, oh, there's some cool titles in here. You probably watch a lot of AVGN, he says, for some strange reason. And he goes around like, well, usually they're 5 a piece. I'll do 4 a piece. So €4 a piece on these games, and he throws in 1 game for free.
€4 NES games? I want that too.
So €40, I get a stack of 11 NES games. So some of the highlights in this stack are Super Glove Ball, I got Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, I got Kid Nicky Radical Ninja, a pretty cool game, and then some oddball stuff. I also got this Asian Tetris, or Taiwanese Tetris. I kind of forgot which one of the two it is. So that's the Tetris version that came out in Taiwan. And then another cool game I found in there is a Arnold Schwarzenegger game. I found Terminator. Of course, I love the Terminator movie. The opening shot where the tank is going over the skeleton, where the tank is just driving over the skulls, is so epic. Just the bioflesh, the whole thing about it. The game is okay. It's not one of the best games, but it's definitely playable. Yeah, I love it. It's amazing how many NES games are based off of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and of course he has some great lines in all of these movies.
Come with me if you want to live.
I'll be back.
Get to the chopper! Oh wait, wrong movie?
Put that cookie down and put that game down, because I want it. So yeah, we're still digging around in the other bargain boxes. You actually get a plastic bag, you put all your stuff in, they write your name down so you can keep looking around. We, of course, made a maybe pile in our plastic bag, so we're going through what do we need, what do you need, because we're also looking for each other. We're looking out for each other, trying to figure out, hey, maybe he needs this box, maybe you need that box, so yeah.
Why did he not pick up any for us?
Yeah, and I thought we were friends.
And I think I spent around maybe 80 euros over there, so 120 euros in total I spent over at this stand. But the amount of stuff I got, I'll leave you guys with a panning shot of all the cool things I got over there. Of course, there was a ton of Nintendo cardboard I bought, but you know, that stuff gets so expensive if you have to buy it with the cartridge. I even found the manual for Castlevania II Belmont's Revenge on the Game Boy, which I was missing. I was also missing the map for the first Zelda game on the NES. So this was a really cool way to puzzle together a couple of things I still needed to complete my games and make them complete in box.
Well, it's easy to find bargains in a bargain bin, but let's see if you can find something on the regular vendor floor.
But right before we take a look at the rest of the vendors, I bump into a friend of mine who's also scored a big lot. Definitely go check out his video. But yeah, he came up on my channel to tell me a couple of things he found, so enjoy.
Hi guys, this is 16beatemups on edsretrogeekout channel. We're here at the Apeldoorn game fair in the Netherlands, and right at the end you can see all those boxes. Those are some excellent video games deals over there. They're all plundered by now, so not a lot of good stuff left probably. I bought this whole bag of goodies for 110 euros, and I'm gonna show you some highlights of it. Here's an American copy of Super Buster Bros, also known as Pang in Europe.
So yeah, Super Pang is actually a pretty cool pickup. It's also known as Buster Bros, and it's made by Capcom. You shoot stuff in it. It's also a double player game.
Spot Goes to Hollywood, complete Saturn game. I will open it up. Hopefully the CD doesn't fall out, because that always tends to happen with PAL Saturn boxes. And last, an empty video shop box for Pocky and Rocky. I already have the loose cartridge, so this will go nicely on my shelf. These are just some of the highlights of my pickups. The rest you will see on my channel.
It was fun catching up with my friend from 16beatemups, and that's one of the cool things about these conventions. You meet people you don't really see otherwise. He hunts over in another area of Belgium than where I'm from, so these conventions are the only way we ever meet each other, really.
I love gaming conventions so much. I mean, it's awesome to meet great people out there. Some are friends, some you can become friends with.
And that's why I like these conventions.
It's so nice just to take a walk outside of your game room and breathe some fresh air, smell some fresh convention air, and I mean, think of all those games!
Alright, let's try my luck over at the vendor floor.
Games!
And well, we're off to a pretty good start. I'm trying to go for a full Game Boy Classic set, and there's two over here I'm missing. Of course, the games are priced as if they're made of gold. There's a loose Trip World for $250 and a complete in-box Bamsey for $450.
Man, I'm missing Trip World for my Game Boy collection as well. But 250 euros, that's so damn pricey. Way too much.
Yeah, my wallet isn't gonna be able to cut that. But hold on, over here there's another vendor. I'm looking at a Mega Man hack game on the NES. I see in the corner of my eye a Vice Project Doom for 20 euros, and that's a pretty good price on that. So I look if there's something else, and yeah, I find Solomon's Key 2. Now, this game I see every so often at conventions. It's always priced around 75 euros or even more. Not really gonna spend that much, so over here he has the game at 60, which is a reasonable price.
That's a great find. Solomon's Key 2 is actually getting harder to find.
But I want to get it down even more, so I use a tactic that I think works. You know, you grab the amount of money you want to pay for the game, hold it in your hand, and you say, is 50 enough? The guy sees the 50, and you know, instinctively the only thing he wants to do is just grab that money. And he does, so he goes for it. Here's 50 for it. He grabs the money, I grab the cart. I couldn't be happier.
In the US it's known as Fire and Ice. Pretty rare and expensive game, I think. One of the better puzzle games.
I'll buy it. So not only is this con a decent size, I mean, it's a bit smaller than the other cons I usually go to, but the variety of games I'm seeing over here is just spectacular. Of course, you got Nintendo, you got Sega, but you also have systems of Sega that you don't really see too often. There's a ton of Sega Saturn stuff over here, but also Atari stuff. There's Vectrex stuff, and there's even some MSX or something, am I saying that right? Like old computer stuff, Commodore. Yeah, it's pretty cool to just look around at this. I mean, I don't really know what I'm looking at. Although this Spider-Man for the Atari does look pretty tempting to buy. The artwork on these Atari boxes are just amazing. Then I also bump into another friend of mine of whom it appears that he's just bought a DuckTales 2 complete in the box. However, he tells me, no, it's just a box. And I already have it. Do you have DuckTales 2 yet, the box? And I'm like, no, I don't have the box yet. So he's like, well, I paid 10 euros for it. You want it? And I can't say no to that. I mean, you know me, I like buying cardboard. I'm feeding my Nintendo cardboard addiction right now. Again, here's another 10 euros down the drain, but at least I get to upgrade DuckTales 2 to a boxed copy. And DuckTales 2 is actually one of the games I played back in the day. Of course, you had Scrooge McDuck with the funny mechanic of his cane that he could use to jump with. That's one of the coolest things. Of course, Shovel Knight kind of uses the same mechanic. That's one of the things I always liked about the Shovel Knight game, that it kind of felt like, hey, there's a part of DuckTales in here.
DuckTales, woohoo!
My mom always said conventions are like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get. And by the way, Ed, you have a nice shirt.
This whole thing? So we come across another vendor. This is actually one we usually head over to. He always has great deals. And we try another one of our haggling tactics. This is just bundle up and get a better price, really. So my friend found 2 games he wanted over there. He asked me, hey, do you see anything you need? Because I really want to get the price down on these even more. Then it'll be like a steal that we're getting. So my friend is looking at Power Punch 2.
Power Punch 2 actually is the sequel to Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!
A boxing game on the NES. And he's also got Phantasy Star 2 for the Mega Drive or Genesis, I forgot which one of the two. So yeah, he's asking me, hey, just look around, find something, we'll bundle it up. If we get 3 games over here, he'll give us a deal for sure. I look around, I see a Snow Brothers for the Game Boy complete in box, but yeah, 200 euros, even if we're getting like 30 euros off, that's not what it's worth to me.
You have to look for the good deals. And you can whine all you want, that's not going to change the price. You need to haggle.
Not gonna make a move on that. I walk a bit back and forth. I even walk over to some other vendors. My friend is still looking around over there, so I start digging through some of the SNES stuff. I'm not really finding anything, so he says, you know, I'll look around a bit more. Maybe I'll find a 3rd game I want. I actually walk over to another vendor. I come back, and as I'm walking back, I actually spot a game I've been looking for the longest time. This is on my collecting goals for 2018. It's XMen II for the Mega Drive, and this time the game isn't priced ridiculously. The game usually goes for 120 euros, maybe 100 euros if you're lucky. And over here, the price tag says 65 euros. So XMen II for the Mega Drive is definitely an improvement over the first game. There's a lot more characters you get to play with, and Magneto makes an appearance.
Oh, there is an XMen II on the Mega Drive. That's nice. Didn't know that.
It might be without the manual, but hey, who cares? I just want the game to play with it. I do want to have the box, the manual. I don't really care. So that's what I thought going in to the negotiations. So yeah, my friend says, like, you do it, here's a stack of stuff. So I just go over to the guy. Here are 3 games we want. What's the best price you can do on these? Me and my buddy already discussed, like, where do you want to be at, where do I want to be at? The guy comes back with, you know, 10 euros off, and I'm like, can you do a bit better? And then he says, well, you know, you're a repeat customer, so yeah, I'll knock off another 5 euros. So we all each get 5 euros off, which is definitely great. I got the XMen II game for 60 euros. That's almost half of what it usually goes for at these conventions.
Congratulations, Ed, for finding XMen II. I'm still looking for it.
I couldn't be happier, and the manual is inside, so yeah, I'm really glad I can add this beat-em-up platformer of the X-Men to my collection. Now we still have a long drive back home. I have to go to work tomorrow, so I say, like, yeah, come on, we're gonna go leave, but the last thing we pick up is my friend's Atari Junior console he left over at Mr. Atari, who is of course an Atari expert, but he also does mods. And what he did for my friend is he changed the output of the Atari Junior, the Atari 2600 Junior, so it will actually give AV quality as an output. And yeah, it looks great actually. I should have brought mine.
Definitely.
So this was definitely worth the 3-hour trip. Now Bonami, they put up 4 conventions every year. It's all over the Netherlands. So when they're really close to Belgium, I tend to go over there. I mean, 3 hours is okay to drive, but yeah, we really gotta head home. We grab a burger before we leave. So yeah, here we are with the trunk full of games. Now I have to devise a plan of how am I going to get all these bags of games inside the house without my girlfriend noticing. For games it's usually okay, but when I come home with TMNT boxes, it's like, hey, what did you buy? Oh, I had this already. Yeah, I still don't know how I'm gonna get all these in without her noticing, but I'll figure out a way. That's it for this week, guys. I definitely want to thank NES Commando, Dennis, and Marcel for helping me out in this episode. It's been so much fun having you guys over, and yeah. What's that thing over there? Come on, guys, it's my show. I mean, you already have the t-shirts with your logo on it, you have the coffee mugs with NES Commando on it. It's enough. Do you need even more promo? Really?
Oh man.
Maybe I should get some t-shirts made. That's retrogeekout. Would anybody buy that?
Seriously, Ed, I thought we were friends.
Get to the chopper!